Welcome to the Coach and Coach podcast. Man, we got a show for you tonight. You don't want to miss this one. Go wake somebody up. Tell them that the Coach and Coach podcast is on tonight. I don't see my guest. Maybe he got to talk first to get him on. I think we got you popped up now, Coach.
Got me.
We'd like to welcome everybody to the Coach and Coach podcast. That guy right beside me, he is the offensive guru. You give him an even front, he's going to wear you out. You give him an odd front, he's going to do the same. That is our offensive coordinator, Coach Benji Hare. And I'm that old guy. Don't wear no headset. I just called him. I'm running a 5-2 cheat cover 3. And I'm just going to let my linebackers do the job. I'm your defensive coordinator. I'm Coach Marks, and we make up the Coach and Coach podcast. Make sure you hit that follow button. Let us know that you're with us. Let us know that you love us. If you want to comment in the comment section. We'll try our best to get to you. Now, if you happen to miss this episode, you should not ever miss an episode. But if you do, you can catch us on Spotify. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. Tonight, we have a show for you. We hoping that we can get you don't want to miss this show tonight. But, Coach, first of all, how was your day today, Coach? How'd everything go, man?
It's going. Just glad to be here. Like you said, got a big show lined up. Excited about it. And, got a big weekend lined up. Meet the Rebels this weekend. Big baseball weekend ahead against Georgia. And, the weekend's just the weekend period. It's just good to be able to relax and reset. But there's business to attend to tonight, and I look forward to it.
Hold on. Oh, I was on mute. And you got the draft tonight. So, Coach, there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend, man. NBA playoffs going on. So, man, it's a lot of stuff. But nothing will compare to what we're about to do today. Let me go ahead and hit this intro for you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and hit this to let this fella in. And we're going to wait till he pop up. Man, this is something we've been waiting on. This has been a long time coming, long time overdue. Let me go ahead and hit this intro as we get everything together.
The middle, Dean in trouble, sets, throws, it's intercepted by Fred Thomas. He's going the other way to the 30, to the 40. He may go, needs one block. He's to the 40, he's to the 35, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Ole Miss! Fred Thomas, the JUCO transfer from Northland.
Help us. Welcome to the show tonight. None other than the legend himself. I call him the first cheetah. Mr. Fred Thomas. Fred, what's going on, my man?
Yes, man, I'm having a little problem here. I don't know if you guys can see me.
Oh, we can't see you yet, but we saw this last week. You're going to pop up eventually. OMD did the same thing, but man, as he get that going, I'm gonna go ahead and do the intro, and we'll get that screen popped up in just a second. All right. I'm getting some feedback, Coach. I think I'm getting some feedback from you.
From me?
Yeah, I think that's you with your volume up, man. But we got with us tonight for conversation is none other than Fred Thomas, Bruce High School legend. Class of 1991. Man, there's so much I got to read here. Y'all bear with me. Northwest Community College, 1992 National Championship, which was his freshman year in 1993. Second team All-American. He had a career record at Northwest of 19-3-1. Transferred to the University of Mississippi, where he had the most iconic touchdown, pick six in Ole Miss history. You're going to see it every year because when it get to 83 days before the first game, you are going to see the 83-yard touchdown return against Florida. He later on transferred to the University of Tennessee Martin. 1995 All-Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year, recognized as one of the top defensive backs in the conference. He was drafted in 1996 in the second round, the first pick of the second round by the Seattle Seahawks. He played 4 years with the Seahawks. He turned around and played another 8 years with the New Orleans Saints. NFL career stacked 523 total tackles, 13 interceptions, 88 pass defended, 9 forced fumbles, and 5 sacks. Man, that is a lot to say. And we look and he still ain't on, Coach.
I can't get it to pull up, man. I'm having a little Wi-Fi problems here a little bit.
Well, we know the voice and we know who there, but man, we definitely welcome you to the show tonight. Man, definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk to us tonight, man. And we definitely, my co-host, man, we're trying not to be starstruck. We're trying to be professional here and not be starstruck, man. You got me pulling out my old nephew jersey, and I'm gonna put it on because I want everybody to see that Bruce Trojan. But as you work on that, Coach, we'll talk anyway. You know, that screen will pop up eventually. We'll get that thing together. But man, we do like to welcome none other than Fred Thomas to the show tonight. Coach, anything before we get started, man? We getting that screen is gonna pop up. We trust it. I got bumped off last week, so it came back.
Nah, I'm good. I'm ready to roll. Every time his name flashes up big, so I keep thinking it's about to just pop up any second.
Yeah, it's gonna pop up in a second. But we definitely thank once again, Fred. We thank you for coming on with us, man, and we're gonna talk and we're gonna see, and it's gonna and when it pop up, it'll pop up. If it don't, they can hear your voice, man. They can still hear you. So we can roll with it, man. So man, let's dive right into it, man. Man, coming the first thing, man, coming from a big family, my brother. You came from a big family. But the thing is, your family played basketball. How did you end up in football, man?
I have no clue. All I know is, you know how we do. You know, I wasn't really a basketball guy. I fell in love with football in the backyard. You know how that goes. You just get a football.
Yeah, old Killer Man.
Yeah, there you go. Killer Man.
Dangerous sport.
Yes, sir. Very dangerous. We played it where it was gravel, grass, or pavement. We didn't care. We played it the same way, but I guess I got love for the game sitting there, just going to the high school football games. Just going to Bruce High School football games. And my grandmother had a big thing making us all go, to the football games because that's what she enjoyed. And by being there, to be honest, I never really watched the game. Way back when, if you can think, before the field house that's there now, that was an open field.
Yeah.
And that's where the younger kids played football during the games. I was one of those kids. I never watched the game. I went there and I just played with all the kids that was in that little field next to the bleachers. And I played with a lot of older kids, and I guess that's how I got the love for the game.
So what was that one player you could, because when we play, when we're coming up, Coach Benny, you can attest to this. There's always a player that we see that we want to emulate. It's one thing to see him on TV, but there is that one player that we see, that's at our school. Who was that player that kind of just, okay, yeah, I want to be like him? That was at Bruce High School that you saw, and you was like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to be like him.
I mean, it was easy for me. He wore the number 10. I wore the number 10 in high school. It was Sinatra Armstrong.
Yeah.
1,000%. I sat in those bleachers and I watched him every Friday do what he did. Do what he did consistently every Friday. And that's how I fell in love with football and fell in love with that number. I wanted to be just like Sinatra Armstrong. Yes, sir.
Coach?
I'm I'm a little younger, so I never saw Sinatra Armstrong play. What was it about his game? Like when you saw it, like what was there a certain part of the craft that you were like, I need to hone in on this quickly, or you know, or was there a part of his game that you were like, this is what I'm gonna take. This is the most I'm gonna take from it.
Well, it was, he played a multitude of positions. He went from receiver to running back, and those were some of the things that I got a chance to do. He played a little bit of DB as well, and as I was being recruited, I went to North Alabama where he was playing, and he was my host.
Wow.
In my senior year. But being in the stadium and being able to watch him and being able to be a part of that, and be the kid that was in the bleachers and wanted to wanted to imitate him and a lot of things that he did. I was that kid.
Gotcha.
You ended up playing under two coaches. You played under Coach Yarber, and then you also played under Coach Robbins. That transition, how was that transition? Do you remember how you felt during that transition? Because in high school, you fall in love with your coaches, whether they're good or bad. You fall in love with your coaches, and to go through that extreme, to go 88 and 89, or if I'm not mistaken, I think Coach Yarber was 88 and 89, and then Coach Robbins come in. Tell me, how did you handle that transition in the coaching change?
Well, to give credit to Coach Yarber, he was the coach that actually taught me how to run the football.
Wow.
I was the kid, super fast. I always try to get outside. I was a $105. I didn't want to get hit, and I always wanted to run outside. And I'll never forget, that day we had practice, and I'm walking through the hallways, and all the older guys, I did fairly well in junior high. So I was that guy, and a lot of older guys were like, oh, you're not gonna do that in high school. You're not gonna do that against us. And me being the kid that I wasn't confident, but I couldn't show any fear. I was scared. These are the guys I watch every Friday. I was totally scared. And I told them, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna do the same thing I did in junior high to you guys when I get out there. And once I got out there, I realized I wasn't ready. No matter what I did in junior high, I wasn't ready. And the first day of practice, padded up, we had the old Oklahoma drill.
Made a lot of basketball players out of that drill.
Oh yeah, bull in the ring. We get there, and I seen how those guys hitting, so I faded to the back. Faded to the back, hoping it was gonna, they forget about me, and I wouldn't have to do it. Buy me some time, because eventually I was gonna have to do it. But I faded to the back, and I'm standing back there watching all this go on, and Coach Yarber turned around, looking for me, and said, "Where's Fred?" And it seems like the ring had split like the Red Sea. And I was standing there, and he looked at me and he said, "It's no time like the present. Let's go." I walked up there timid, scared. And the person I was going against, God rest his soul, was Robert Vincent. He gave me my welcome to high school hit. I'm talking, I hate to say it, snot out the nose. Hey, he gave it to me. And I got up, wanted to cry, but I didn't, because I think that the hit wasn't as bad as I thought. It was maybe everybody cheering for him because he laid the hit on me. And I kind of faded back, and Coach Yarber came to me and he said, "Fred, all you got to do is run like you ran in junior high." And I said, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "But if you run," he said, "don't stretch it. Just hit the hole." as fast as you are, they'll never see you coming. Just hit it. Don't wait. Hit it. Practice goes on. We got in the live scrimmage, and I get out there, and I'm talking, my offensive line wasn't good. Quarterback was okay. And you had the starting defense out there, high school defense from last year, going against me. They pitched that ball to me, and all I could think of was what he told me to do. And as soon as I got the ball, I turned it straight up and closed my eyes. I didn't want to know where the hit was coming. And I kept running, I realized I didn't get hit. And I opened my eyes and looked behind me. I had ran past everybody. And that gave me confidence. And I ran like that every time.
That just didn't work for me. I closed my eyes, but I ended up into somebody, or somebody ran me over. So I guess I wasn't fast enough.
Hey, it was a scary move. And after I did that, my confidence shot out the roof. And then they moved me around from quarterback to receiver and a lot of different things to utilize my talent. And they saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself.
Well, let's go to that first game. Your first game as a high school player. You're in Calhoun City. Don't know what the play was called, but there was and your first number. What was your first high school number?
My number was 10.
Number 10. First play. They threw what we call probably a fade route, but you caught it over your head. And how did you feel that first touchdown at Calhoun City? How did that feel?
Well, going throughout that game, I knew who I was going against. And I had kind of set myself up through warm-ups, and we kind of we had that thing. They would have their spring game and we would have our spring game or whatever. They would come watch ours and we would come watch theirs. I kind of set it up through that and being a part of that. And when the play was called, a lot of people don't know this. I knew who my quarterback was at that moment. And he had a cannon, Justin Ellen. He had a cannon. All you had to do was just let him set his feet and he was going to launch it. And once I took off, it wasn't too many people that was, as fast as I was at the time. I just blew past the guy, man. And he laid it up and I didn't look at it like a normal receiver. I don't know how I did it. I bent my back and just looked at it and it just fell right in my arms over my head. And it was just smooth sailing from there.
And you likely got me in trouble that night because when you scored, you pointed over there towards our direction, and I thought you was telling me to come to the field. So if you look at the video on Gore Sports have played it on YouTube, you can see a little kid that's about to make a step towards the field, and somebody yanked him up. Well, that was me. I didn't know who you was pointing at. I thought you was telling me to come get the football. I didn't know what was going on. I just thought, hey, we just scored. He pointed towards us, so hey, maybe it's time for me to run out there and get it done. So I do remember that first one. But let's go into that senior year. That transition from the wishbone to the spread offense. How did that impact you? Coming from such a condensed style of football to now an open style of football.
Well, I mean, that summer when Coach Robbins came in and he implemented that offense as a wide open offense, and I remember Donnie Logan. I remember him having a conversation with me that spring, and he was asking me, he's like, Fred, you think you can play quarterback? I was like, I've never played quarterback. He's like, with your talent, we think you'll be great at it. And he said, right now, we think you're the best player on this team, and we want to get you the ball as much as possible. And what better way to do it is to put you on the center where you touch it all the time. And I was just like, I don't know. I've never played quarterback or whatsoever. And they worked with me. I wasn't strong. I didn't hit the weight room. And I had this medicine ball, football. It was this big orange football that I had to throw all the time to get my arm strength. And I had to throw it, I don't know, maybe 50 passes a day after practice. And it helped me with my arm strength, but I didn't have a strong arm. I was okay, accurate, but I didn't have a strong arm. And I guess with that being said, the type of offense we ran, it was wide open. I could make good passes. And with me having the ball, being able to do whatever I could do with it all the time, every snap, that gave us a chance. And the way Coach Robbins developed us and put us in position to win, my hat goes off to him, because that offense was deadly to me, to spread it out and put us in the position to win. And that's what it did.
And it really changed. Everything changed in that moment because, like I was telling Coach Benji early on in our pre-production, I said an INT was basically a touchdown. Kickoff was basically a touchdown, and in anything, because the way you play was, you don't see that nowadays. You don't see nowadays when punts go down in high school, they just roll. You wasn't the type of person that let a punt roll, no matter who was around. You was picking it up and you was finna try to take it to the house.
Yeah,
After high school and man, the high school, you after football, you went on to basketball.
yes.
And during that season, which to this day is still, I can't imagine how y'all feel. It still bothers me because the Stone County game, it still just, when I see they cars, when I see they school, I still get upset over it.
Yeah.
But that run, tell us about that run. Dealing with I remember the battles you had with New Albany, the battles you had with Corinth, who had a 7-footer on their team, and how y'all took it all the way to that championship game. Walk us through that experience, just making that run all the way to that championship game.
It was special, man. I mean, you have to go back and look how the city of Bruce responded to that. It was amazing. And with that being said, the amount of support we got from not only Bruce, the county. That's one thing about our county. We may have our rivalries across the Schooner River, but at the end of the day, no matter what, we're going to support each other. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And to be able to go through that and to be coached by Coach Johnson, Jesse Johnson, it was an amazing feat because we really didn't know how good we were. We were just playing basketball.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, we played from late October to December, and we thought we was going to have time off for Christmas. Coach Johnson said, no, if we on the road, we're going to play. We're going to go get in some of these tournaments, go play some bigger schools. And we just so happened during the Christmas break, we just so happened to go play in the Oxford tournament. And we happened to play Tupelo. And Tupelo had some talented people. We were just small kids, country kids from Bruce, Mississippi. Tallest man was George, 6'3", 6'4" at the time. Could jump out the gym. To be honest with you, we all could jump out the gym. That was our advantage. And this is when we realized how good we were and how great we could be. Was playing in that tournament. We dominated everybody. And we stepped on the floor with Tupelo in the finals. And from tip-off, they dominated us. When I say dominated us, they dominated us. By halftime, we was down 26 points. And we went into halftime, and Coach Johnson said one thing to us that woke us up. He said, hey, y'all. He said, all those people out there in those bleachers, all your parents, all your fans from Bruce, they're quiet because the other team is kicking y'all butt. He said, they came here to see you guys. They didn't come here to see me. They came here to see you guys and support you guys. You guys are playing like crap. This is not the way y'all play. He said, yeah, we down 30. Okay. He said, either y'all gonna go out there and do something about it, or you're gonna lose by 50. At this point, you're gonna lose by 50. And he said, when we go out this locker room, we're gonna play. He had this defense that catered to us to the fullest. He said, we're gonna play deny. It's called a deny defense. You get your man and you don't let him touch the ball. All 80 plus feet. The rest of the game. And we did that. We did it. They couldn't get the ball past half court. By the end of the game, we beat them by 15.
Wow. Well, I saw that defense firsthand. I remember the North Half tournament, I think, which is New Albany now, but it was W.P. Daniels back then. And I think they was up by 20. And they all went into that defense. And the game shifted very quickly. It shifted very quickly. And I think I remember that year that the North Half Championship, Coach, it was so packed in the Lafayette gym that they had to move it to the Tad Pad because there was no room in Lafayette. And what a lot of people need to understand is that, Fred, you played in 3A.
Correct.
You know, you played in 3A. You know, he had to deal with Senatobia, North Panola, Independence, Charleston. You had to deal with teams that, you know, a lot of us didn't have to deal with because y'all were 3A.
Let's not leave out Water Valley.
Water Valley. Yes, man, don't even bring that up.
Oh, yeah.
Amory, you know, all of these teams that you had to play. But let's go to the game that hurts the most.
Okay.
The state championship game, which was a rim, a ball rolling down a rim away from us stealing. I ain't gonna say stealing, being rectified as that state champion, because I do recall that game. It was a lot of questionable calls during that game that I know. But tell me, what do you remember about that state championship game?
You know what? I still have that game, and I watch it from time to time. It upsets me. It's just, and you're right. It was a lot of questionable calls.
Yeah. Throughout
that game, if you look at it on paper, we were not supposed to match up with them. They had 6'6", 6'7" across the board. The point guard alone was 6'2". And we had Mark Taylor, who was 5'7", 8-ish, but had the heart of a champion.
Yeah.
You know, that was all of us. We knew we were outmatched all around the board. But one thing they couldn't do was out-jump us and outrun us. We were fast. And we had great defensive players. So when they went into that game, I think we shocked them the way they jumped up on us and we came back, that was our norm. We was always a second half team.
Yeah.
That was our norm. You get up on us and you get comfortable, we come back. And we always, to start that comeback, we always rely on Mark. He was, to me, Steph Curry before Steph Curry.
I'm with you with that one.
What's that?
I'm with you with that one.
He didn't have a distance where he couldn't shoot from. He had the green light. Whenever he felt like shooting, he could do it. And no shot was a bad shot. And he did it. And the way we supported one another, the way we came together as a team. We were all brothers. We were all together. We were together all the time. Like all the time. Like it was nothing we wouldn't do without each other, which the closeness built us and made us and helped us go on this run that to me was legendary. It was a while that I know of that Bruce had ever been in that position, in basketball in a long time. And to be able to go on that run and see the faces, see the love that the people gave us. And it's like I tell this story all the time to my son. I said, it's certain people I never had to look for in the stand. I could hear them. Miss Cheetah, my grandmother, Gino, like I could hear all those people. I never had to see, oh, are they here? Are they here? I never had to do that because I could hear them. They would let us know that we didn't have to look for them. They were there and they were loud and they let us know. Simple as that. And I loved every bit of it. And I loved the kind of boost of energy that we gave the city when they supported us in that. Yeah. And before us, it was Council City. They went to state, those guys, D Hurd and Willie Darrell and the Coffee Boys, they went to state and they did it the same way. And we supported them and they came and supported us. But it was nothing like sitting there watching the crowd and the people being proud, no matter what we could have did. Win, lose, or draw, they were proud. And we played our butts off for them.
Oh, y'all definitely did that. That's probably the first time I cried over a game. I'll never forget the game. Matter of fact, I got a funny story. Coach Benjamin, we was at the coaching clinic, and Coach Jamal saw Stone County's car. And I had to literally hold that man back. I said, it was the referees, coach. It wasn't Stone County. I said, I don't know who the official was that night, but you taking it out on the wrong thing.
Thank God he wasn't around.
Oh my goodness, man. I had to hold him back because people that was at that game, we still get emotional about it. I remember telling our current basketball coach now, I said, Fred did things that wasn't normal. The first time I saw a high school player do a lean on me dunk was you. Like, how are you? You're 5'9", man. You wasn't supposed to be able to do that. 5'10". You wasn't supposed to be able to do that. You did it in the state game. During the state tournament.
Coach, you know what? I'm gonna have to put that on that machine we had back there in the corner.
That old jumper. Yeah. We need to get that jumper back, man.
Coach had us on that jumper, man. And he had us doing it, and he told us, he's like, look, I know y'all guys can dunk. I know that. He said a dunk doesn't count more than a layup. He said, if you can't dunk, don't do it. Do not do it. And if you miss it, you're coming out. You're coming out. So we pride ourselves on making every dunk, even in an attempt. Well, we had some guys attempt something. They didn't make them, and best believe they came out. But me being as short as I was and being able to jump like that, I don't know, man. I don't want to say genes. I don't want to say nothing. It just happened. And, we got a lot of practice at the courts right there. So yeah. It was something when we had free time, it's something we did. It's something we just took passion in doing, and we got it. That was our dream to do it in a game. And every chance we got, that's what we did.
Well, I know on the high school level, we haven't ran into too many players that have had the career that you have in all the sports, even in track. If I'm not mistaken, I think you had pulled up, was it 10-3, 10-2?
It was 10-2.
10-2, which at the time was the fastest time in the state of Mississippi. I don't know why you didn't go to the baseball field. You probably would have been successful there too.
I got a funny story about that. I was asked, I'm gonna elaborate on the track thing a little bit. A lot of people don't know about that. Of course, we didn't record those things back in the day. And I tell my son this, and he don't believe me. I said I was actually fast. I mean, you don't know it now. Yeah. I was actually fast. You're like, nah, I know you wasn't. But anyway, I told him every event I ran, and I even told him the story about me going to run in the Tupelo relays. Coach took us there. He was like, hey, man, y'all want to go run? see what we got. And at the time, we were unbeaten. Like nobody beat us, even came close to beating us in anything. And he just said, I just want to take y'all and see how y'all gonna compare to some of these bigger schools and all that. And so we went. And I remember preparing for the 100-yard dash, the 100-meter dash, and we were in our boxes, and the guy was setting us up, and I was just sitting there minding my business, trying to focus. And this guy from somewhere else had ran against the guy from Tupelo, and he was telling everybody, hey man, we all gonna run for second because none of us is gonna beat this guy. I never said a word. I was just stretching, doing my thing. Never said a word. He just kept talking. He's like, man, I ran him last week somewhere and he beat us by 10, 15 yards. And I never said a word. And I had ran a guy from Houston. I never got his name, in New Albany. He ran against me the week before in New Albany. And I'm sitting here and I'm trying to focus and I see him out the corner of my eye. He's arguing with this other guy about placing second. And the guy's like, man, I'm telling you, we just wasting our time. This guy from Tupelo, he's gonna kill us. And the guy from Houston, I wish I would have got his name. The guy from Houston said to this guy, he said, man, I don't know about him, but that guy from Bruce is a horse. He said, I'm telling you now, he's a horse. And I never said a word. But once we got in those blocks, the fastest two people on the track usually get lane 4 and lane 5. And he was right next to me. And I had put in my mind that I was going to give him everything I had in my tank. And I'm telling you, when that gun went off, I don't know how far I beat them, but I had this thing that I would save myself for the relays for my teammates. So when I got closer to the finish line, I pulled up. And I don't know who this gentleman was. He had a stopwatch in his hand. When I pulled up and crossed that line, I had beat him so bad. I crossed the line. He ran on the track and he cursed me out. I don't even know who he was. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, I'm saving myself for the relays, for my teammates. He's like, you could have shattered the record. Why would you pull up? I said, I'm running. I don't know. I don't know. He's like, man, don't ever do that again. You could have shattered the record. And from that point on, I never held back ever again. I gave it everything I had, every chance I got. But one thing I'm going to tell you about that track thing, every single event I ran from the 200 to the 400, running in our division, who do you think came second? Just take a wild guess.
I would guess somebody from Charleston.
Yeah, that would be the right guess. I mean, that would be an accurate guess, but it was.
Don't you tell me Brian Mix.
Every time.
Are you kidding me, man?
Every time. Brian Mix, and I could hear
260-pound Brian Mix in high school.
Every time.
Man, that's ridiculous.
I got everybody that can tell you that saw it, and I could hear him not far from me. He wasn't far behind me. I could hear him carrying all that weight as big as he was. He was running, man. Nobody believes that. The guy could run as big as he was. It was unbelievable. He was a freakish athlete, man. He was freakish.
Wow. Man. Well, let us know what happened with baseball. Let us know what happened with baseball.
Okay. Miss Donna, she had this thing for me. She was like, man, Fred, she just pulled me to the side one day at school. She's like, Fred, you're such a great athlete. And why don't you just give baseball a try? Just give it a try. You would go out there, you would help them. You would be great at it. She's like, I think you would be great at it. I said, no. She's like, why? She's like, you think I'm about to stand? No, I said, you think I'm about to stand there and let them throw 100-mile-per-hour baseball at me? I'm not going to do it. She kept begging me. She kept asking me, like, you can be great at it. And that's one of my regrets now. After going through the years, I think I could have been good at it. But think about it, man. All the sports we played in the backyard, we didn't think about baseball that much.
No, baseball wasn't one of them.
Yeah. So I wasn't that guy on baseball. You know, I wasn't up on baseball as much as I should have been, but I regret not giving it a shot. And she tried, and she brings it up every chance. She's like, you remember what you said to me? And I was like, yeah, I remember. About baseball. Yeah, I remember. And I was serious too. I wasn't going to stand there and let them throw balls at me like that.
Well, let me make sure I got this right, and you correct me if I'm wrong. You graduated in Bruce in 91.
Correct.
Now, I initially thought that you went to Mississippi College first, and then Mississippi Valley, then Northwest, Ole Miss, and UT Martin. Tell us about your college experience and how you transitioned to each part.
Well, I'm going to take my hat off to you, because a while back, it was a long time ago, you came to me and you said that same exact thing to me. You're the only person that knows that route, like in order. Nobody else knows that. There's a lot of family members that don't know that, but I'm going to touch on that. Out of high school, I signed with Mississippi College. And during that time, Dietrich Doolittle was there. We were very close, and I wanted to be with Dietrich. But before I had the chance to go there, the coach was fired. So now I'm scrambling, trying to figure out, all right, I signed these guys. The period the recruitment has changed. I had a multitude of scouts. Opportunities there, but I chose there because it was close to home. I didn't want to go far from home. But I think that summer, before I was supposed to report, the coach got fired, and I was in panic mode. And the only thing I could think of was the opportunity that I had at Mississippi Valley to be able to play both sports. Mm-hmm. And then I was there with another friend of mine, best friend, George Norris, who was at Valley at the time. And I get there, and I realized immediately I didn't want to be there, because they really didn't give me a chance, and they had me behind a guy that ultimately became my teammate in the pros, Ashley Ambrose.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And they had some starters. They called themselves the NWA. All their last names, their secondary was awesome, man. And they had me there. And I didn't see me touching the field anytime soon behind Ashley. So I made the call to Coach Franklin at Northwest and asked him, Coach, would you be, he recruited me as well. And I asked him, Coach, would you be willing to take me in next semester and I'll come to Northwest? And he was excited. He's like, sure, anytime, whatever. He's like, you can come now if you want. I said, you serious? He's like, yeah, you can come now. I said, Coach, I'll be there tomorrow. I packed up and was gone. And I had a conversation with the head coach at Valley at the time, and he said some things that wasn't pleasant because I was leaving, and he wasn't happy. And I'm not willing to share that right now, but he solidified my decision to leave.
Yeah.
And once I got to Northwest, it was I had to battle that Florida mentality. A lot of the guys there was there from Florida. They didn't think nobody could play in Mississippi. And some of the guys who had already played against me from Water Valley, Kansas City, Lafayette, all of them, when they found out I was coming, I don't know how, right to this day, I don't know how the conversation started, but it started to the effect that somebody would say, hey, man, this guy coming in, he's going to take some people's spot, from kick returning to starting cornerback and maybe a little bit of receiver. And those guys like, man, ain't no way. He ain't that good. He's not that good. He's like, I'm telling you. He's that good, you know. And when I got there, I felt it. Like I felt it from those guys. My roommate at the time was a kid from Florida, Eric Smith. And he kind of let me in on everything that was going on because he's my roommate. He was sort of stirring the pot, so to speak. And he was telling me, hey, man, this guy don't like you. This guy don't like you because you come in and the coffee boy was bragging on you. The guys from Water Valley was bragging on you. LaFayette, whatever, bragging on you. I said, man, I'm just a little scrawny kid, 150, you know, soaking wet. I'm just going to come in and do what I do. And to go back a little bit, I played in the Mississippi All-Star game. And my teammate, I had a lot of great teammates, but the one that sticks out, my starting quarterback was Steve McNair. And watching him was amazing. Like, he didn't get the recognition he got at that All-Star game because of another quarterback that was on the other team named Derek Tate, who played for Mississippi State. Became the starting quarterback for Mississippi State. And he had cameras following him all over the place. Steve had cameras, but he didn't have like Derek Tate. And coming from where I came from, I've never seen a quarterback that big, ever. When I looked at Steve McNair, he looked chiseled. He looked like a made-up player.
Wow.
And to watch him carry himself every day, and we ate together, and he made the comments that he made when he seen Derek Tate come in the cafeteria and all the media following him, and everybody like, man, I don't think he that good. Like, Steve, I think he better than you. I mean, no, they said, Steve, we think you're better than him. And he was like, man, we're going to see. That's all he would say. We're going to see. When the game is played, we're going to see. And I'll never forget this. And the reason why I go back to this, because we're talking about Northwest. I had this thing that I was too small. And the opening kickoff of that game, I took it back 98 yards. By the time I got to that end zone, Coach Franklin was in that end zone. I don't know how he ran on the field. I don't know. Look, all I know, when I turned around to celebrate with my teammates, Coach Franklin ran on that field in the corner, put something in my hand. And when I held on to it till I got to the bench. I got on the bench and I sat there because I was just like, man, I did this against All-Stars. Like, I didn't think I was beaten down enough because I was so small. I didn't think I could do it against these elite guys because they was all, I didn't have cameras following me. I watched this all week. Like, and I had to deal with the Stone County boys that was on the team as well that played basketball against me. I dealt with that all week because they was bragging about they won. And I was sitting on the bench and something told me to look in my hand. I looked in my hand, it was a note. And I opened that note, and that note said, see, you can play with the big boys.
Wow.
That was the note that Coach Franklin wrote to me and gave it to me in that All-Star game. And that solidified me going, taking my chances on Northwest. But to fast forward back to Northwest, I get there and I did whatever I had to do in practice, and they didn't believe me. And they was like, man, he don't look that good. He can't take a hit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because I was scrawny. A scrawny kid. And those guys, they didn't see what everybody else that played against me saw. Those Florida guys, the Georgia guys, all those guys. And I would always tell them, like, you're not going to tell who I am in practice. But when the lights come on, you're going to see. You're going to see. That opening game against Colin, I took 2 back to the house, 1 interception. And that's when they realized, like, hey, wait a minute now. We got something. And from that point on, I guess to sort of say I earned their respect. And we all became close. And the rest is history. We went on to win the national championship. And we battled in practice every day. Every day. Now, if you fast forward from there, me playing both sides of the ball from cornerback, safety to receiver, a little bit of quarterback. Coach Franklin was just, I don't know. It's something he did with certain teams that he had something against certain coaches. He would throw me in there and let me do my thing, which I couldn't do much at quarterback, but receiver and cornerback, I did what I normally do. And when it was time to be recruited, I took a visit to Auburn. And this is a crazy story as well. Leaving Northwest, I took a visit to Auburn. Coach Frank didn't want me to leave because I was eligible to leave the first year. He didn't want me to leave. But I took the visit to Auburn, and I remember going on that visit. My host was Damon Primus, who played at Northwest. So he was telling me everything about it. He's like, man, look, just, if you come here, they're going to love you. They know about you. They've talked about you to me, and they want you real bad. The typical recruiting conversations and everything. And what prevented me, and I loved Auburn. On that visit, I loved it. What prevented me from going to Auburn was the recruiting tactics that they had at that moment, at that time. Was you go in the locker room, they got your locker set up, your jersey, all this set up. This could be you. This could be you in the jersey, whatever. Kind of as a kid, blowing your head up, trying to get you to come there, whatever. And then we walk out the locker room onto the field by the goalpost. It was dark, no lights on, nothing. And the coach that was hosting me walks me to the 50-yard line, turns me towards the jumbo screen. All of a sudden, boom, all the lights fly on. They show my highlight on the big screen. I was flabbergasted. Never had that a day in my life. So I was sold. At that moment, I was sold. I'm going to Auburn. He rushes me. He's like, oh, we got to go. We got to go. Like, I want to finish watching my highlights, So he rushes me. We go. I'm like, okay, maybe we got to go somewhere else, get in the car, go somewhere else. So we go out the other end of the stadium. My highlight's still playing. I'm still looking over my shoulder, watching it, whatever. And we go out the stadium. And the car that was supposed to pick me up wasn't there. So we're standing there, and I'm noticing him. He's like real jittery, real nervous. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, I don't know. The lights go off in the stadium. It's dark. It's pitch dark. And we're still sitting there. He keeps making the phone call like, where you at? Whatever. The guy says, I'm on my way. And all of a sudden, when he says I'm on my way, the lights come on, highlights of another cornerback coming through the stadium. And I'm like, they did the same recruiting tactic for the same person. By the time I walk, for another person, by the time I walk out the locker room, they probably switched my stuff and put his stuff in there. And as I walked out the stadium, they thought I was gone.
Wow.
So they did the same thing for him, and I'm looking, and the guy looks at me. He's like, hey, man, you weren't supposed to see that. I said, I'm fine. I'm good. He's like, well, you got a meeting tomorrow with the head coach, Coach Bowles, you got a meeting tomorrow with him. I said, nah, we not. I'm going to take the first thing spoken tonight. It's like, wow, what happened? I'm like, man, think about that. I understand the recruitment and all that, but you guys made a mistake by not getting me out of here, and you used the same tactic to recruit another cornerback. What if I sign here and he signs here too? You told him the same thing. Of course, I know we had to battle for it. Nothing's given, but I just didn't like the dishonesty of the whole thing. And so that's when Ole Miss came into play. Of course, that's home. And then a lot of us from Northwest went there, and we was like, hey, man, we did it at Northwest. We can do it at Ole Miss. And that was the reason why I went to Ole Miss. It was home. My grandmother at the time was, which was my mama. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How that is. She wasn't at her healthiest at the moment. So I figured staying close to home, I could have went to Florida. I could have went to all these other places. Staying close to home was perfect for me. That's why I chose Ole Miss. It was home. And Ole Miss was all I know at the moment. And then once I got there, I got picked on there as well because I came from Northwest. And all the guys from Northwest that went there, and we kind of took over. And
Coach, Fred, let me stop. You set us up on one of those Ole Miss visits, man.
Okay.
Coach, we went to go visit him one time, and he didn't warn us about a certain linebacker named Nate Wayne. We're in the room with him, Coach, and this big guy busts through the door. And me and Philip Jackson and Mac Ursher, we sitting in there terrified while Fred just sits in the bed like ain't nothing going on. He don't warn us, don't tell us nothing. Nate Wayne just busts through the door, and I was like, yeah, we're dead. We're done. We're done. Because there's nothing we can do. I can't do nothing. I can't run from him. He's bigger than everybody, all three of us combined. And Fred, you set us up, man. You didn't tell us that. You set us up on that one, man.
Well, to be honest with you, we played the same trick on his family that came in the week before, a couple weeks before. We did the same thing. Those are jokes that we just played with each other, man. And, you know, it was funny to us that we did that. And he probably didn't know you guys was in there. He probably walked by the room and heard you guys and figured he would do that, you know. And I was just sitting
successful.
It happens all the time, you know. And that was just some of the things that we did from time to time. And it was nothing to scare you guys, but I'm assuming he did.
Yeah, he did. He did. We had PTSD for a while.
Yeah,
I didn't like Nate Wayne for a while, Coach. I didn't because that stayed in my head. I was like, I don't like this dude. You know, I said this dude because I still couldn't tell if he was playing or not. Now Fred in the bed laughing and still on the phone like ain't nothing going on. I thought this. I said, man, I do not like Nate Wayne. It took me a while to warm up to Nate Wayne because it took me. I was like, man, he gave us PTSD. I said, well, I'm not. I told him I'm not going back to see Fred no more. No. I'll watch it on TV. I'm not going back. It's not safe in his room.
Yeah, I'm still working on this camera, man. I can't get it to say I'm technical. Hey, I got my technical support here, and we can't figure it out. So we're still working on it. But we're gonna keep it moving.
Well, one of the craziest thing, and people still they do not believe me, but I do have proof in Philip Jackson and Mac Ursher. The Florida game. We were at Mac's house and we were watching the game. And Mac Ursher said, what if Fred picks off and just take it back for a touchdown? And, you know, we're just sitting around. We're just talking like, you know, because this is somebody we know and we won't, you know, like, man. And lo and behold,